Hi, I'm Clark. Welcome to Arduino Touchscreen 101. This is official Clarkwise tutorial. In this episode, we will talk about how does it work and how to use the ATFC Ui tool, and we will use that to create two buttons, and then we connect this Arduino Nano with our touchscreen, and then we make the Arduino interact with ATFC touchscreen. And don't forget to follow us on the social media. Alright, the first thing you need to do is to download the ATFC Ui tool. Visit clarkwise.cc and click Dock Download. And on the download page, you can download the ATFC Ui tool here. Unzip the zip file, we will get this. This is the ATFC Ui tool itself and the resources, the fonts, the number pad, and the screen input pad. Okay, let's run this ATFC Ui tool. The first dialog is to create the new ERS file. We need to select the right option according to the red module you have in your hand. For example, in this episode, we will use the ATFC 7 inches as the example. So here we choose C series ATF and the resource file size to 128 megabytes, resolution, and the touch type is capacitive touch. Okay, then we click OK button. Okay, here is the main page of the ATFC Ui tool. The ATFC Ui tool consists with several parts. Here is menu, toolbox, and also here is the list, a tree list, and here is the preview area. And first, we need to create a new GUI. A GUI is more like a page or an interface to a screen, So now we have to name it, or basically we can just ignore that. We can name whatever we want. Here we input boot. Click OK. Now we double click boot. As you can see, all the tools here are available right now. Okay, you can check out all the usage on the everything in the documentation here on the website. Doc ATFC Ui 2. You can see here introduction, user interface, creating and load, creating, blah blah blah, everything here. And also you can find the controls here. Basically all the tools are here, like the touch area control and stuff, everything. So here all we need to do is to first set up the very important thing is to set up the backlight level. Otherwise the screen will boot in dark. Okay, let's say we set up to 500. Click OK. And the second is we need to clear the screen. By clear the screen, we need to first set up a color, in which color we will clear the screen to, like here. We set the paint color. Here we can choose the white, or we can define custom colors here. For example, we can input 249, 243, and probably 240. It's a light gray, I think. Yeah, okay, then we click OK, and then we click this clean screen. It's like a some very interesting color here. After do that, you can see here GUIDS. This means Gui Display Commands. Okay, so the ATFC Ui to divide the controls and the commands into separate groups. Okay, here are the controls and here are the commands. You don't have to understand right now, but all we did before set up the backlight and set up the paint color and clear the screen are all commands, not controls. After that, we need to load the resources. Here are the tools here. The first is loading the fonts, and here is a BMP file. Literally mean BMP file. And here JPEG and the general control resources, and then the PNG file. So in here we first need to load some fonts. As you can see, here is one extra folder here. I just copied it here. Let's ignore that. Let's go to the fonts. There are several open source fonts included in the ATFC Ui2. You can choose whatever you want. Here we use the UNI space, and here is the font character. Here, let's say, okay, we will use like this one, 16 by 32 unispace. Okay, let's import these resources. Okay, loading font library, 16 by 32. Okay, now we can see the resource list. We can see this ATFC Ui font library here. Here is a preview. Okay, let's switch back to the GUI, and now we need to import some pictures. Okay, let's back. Okay, I copied some pictures here. Actually, I prepared in advance. Here is a here are two blue button and two green, and one off, one on. Let's import all of them. Okay, we loaded 6. Okay, at the end of the list. Now in the resource list, as you can see, we load several pictures, 6 of them. Okay, let's switch back to the GUI. Double click. Now we need to create a button. Let's say a bitmap button. Actually, it means a picture button. Okay, let's click that, and now we are in drawing mode. We can draw a button here. Okay, release. Okay, here's control ID and the button type. Here we keep it to response release button. Later, we will use the other way. And display type, picture switch. Okay, the button normal picture. Select the this one, and the pushed or pressed picture. Let's select this one. Okay, make sure the GUI back message enabled, so that when we pushed the button to on the screen, and the module will send the message back to the Arduino device or any other MCU. We click OK. As you can see, a button is created. We will do another one here too. Okay, magic. I create another one. Green button. The control ID is 101. Okay, now we create 2 buttons. Here we click the third button. Control ID 102, and here we need to choose the button type from response release to toggle switch. Okay, and default state right now is available. Let's keep it to 0, and the normal picture means the 0 state. Let's say off. Let's keep it off, and when we push it, when we press this button, we will this will switch. This will be switched to on here. Okay, let's also make sure the GUI back message enabled. Let's click OK here. Okay, now we create a switch button. Well, maybe some of you don't like it, like these buttons look in this position. Now we try to make them align to left. Okay, click the boot button, and we pressed the control and click the green button and then the switch button. Now, as you can see, the position adjustment tools are available right now. Okay, let's click here, align left, and probably yeah, make them equally separated here. Okay, now everything is done. This is very basic, very fundamental GUI, but it's a working GUI. Now let's click save and save to a place you like and give it a name, probably let's say 101. Click save. Alright. Now we switch the clarkwise Arduino touchscreen to the USB mode and connect the connect the module with the PC via USB cable. Okay, now you can see the ATFC module show as a flash drive here. We can copy the 101.ers copy and we go to here. By default, we have a ERS file inside. We delete that ERS file because there can be only one and only one ERS file in the module. Okay, so we copied here. Okay, now we can disconnect the module from PC. Okay, let's power it on. Well, now you can see the button here. We can press the button here, the green button, the blue button, the green button, the switch button. Okay, now it's fully functioned. Let's see how to connect this with your Arduino device. Alright, you can find this connector in your ATFC module package, and let's first connect this into the module, and now we have 4 wires, the white, blue, black, and the orange one, the 4 wires. And as you can see here, it means the VCC, GN, the RX, and the TX. Now we need to connect them with the Arduino. Okay, so first we need to connect the 5 volts here with the white wire, and then the blue wire for the GND, the ground wire, and then the RX, which will connect to the TX, and then the TX we connect to the RX port. Then there it is. Simple, right? Only 4 pins. Okay, after testing the ATFC module, now we can back to coding on Arduino file nano. The communication between your Arduino device with the clarkwise ATFC touchscreen is the serial port. Also, we have published a using Arduino serial interrupt. Instead of keep looping and waiting for the message from clarkwise touchscreen, you can use the here. You can do something here. For details, you can check the you can check the blog article. Here, let's copy the code here and paste here into our IDE. Now let's try to handle the message from clarkwise touchscreen. This will be the message we received from the clarkwise touchscreen. Okay, for debugging, you can connect the clarkwise touchscreen with any COM2 on your PC. You can see the return itself is fairly easy. Since the code has done most of the job, it's fairly easy for us to use it. We can get the body ID here, which is control ID. Also, we can have the return data here. We have int float string, 3 different types. For button, we just get the integer. When the received variable integer is 1, it means it's pressed. Otherwise, it will be 0. Okay, now let's handle the data here using switch. First, we switch the body ID, which is the control ID here, and when the control ID is 100, which is the blue button, and if if the returned data is equal to 1, which means it's pressed. Let's just send back something. So what to send back? According to the documentation, we can send back a string, display a string here. You can display a string where the top left corner is this blah 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 blah. So okay, here let's say we can return like this at str 0 0 and blue button is pressed. Alright, and then we click the break. Okay, now let's handle the green button. Okay, then do the break. Simple, just handle the basic information here. Now we save it. Actually, I save it to the same folder. Okay, now we can upload it. Okay, I'll connect the Arduino Nano here. Let's connect to the port here and upload. While it's uploading, let's discuss something about the display command here. Well, when you are trying to make the display command, display a string here, we can first, of course, set up the font, the font we will be used, and the color we will be used. By default, we are using the internal font, but it doesn't mean we can't use others like the Unispace. We imported to the resource file in the previous steps. Okay, I think it's uploaded. Let's connect them together. Alright, let's turn it on again. Okay, here you go. We can click the blue button. As you can see, blue button is pressed, and then we clear the when we click the green button, you can see green button is pressed, but when we back to the blue button, we can see an extra dot here. It means the text of the string is just displayed override, not clear the previous string. And now we can click the off on. As you can see, switch to on, and click again, switch to off. But you can see the pressed is still here. So it's working. It's totally working now. It's very simple and a very basic idea. We will handle it using some very complex example later. Remember to follow us on social media. Thank you. See you next time.